Welcome to this episode of Council Bluffs Today. I'm Todd Studer, and we have a couple of guests in studio today. Kyle Ranney, you recognize, my business partner here with Local Stream Media and at the studios on Willow. But this is Lance Brisbois, and he is I'm going to read this because I don't want to mess this up, Lance. You're the Director of Community Partnerships for Golden Hills RC&D.
That is correct.
That is a big, wide part to take up on a business card.
Yep. It is. It's a new title too, so
it's
getting used to saying.
Still getting used to saying that. That's pretty cool. So the RC&D part, what does that mean?
Yeah, resource conservation and development.
So past that, then, what do those words mean for Golden Hills?
So we are locally based nonprofit. There used to be RC&Ds around the country that were federally funded. That federal funding ended in 2011. Since then, we've been really dependent on grants, but we have a board of directors who lives throughout Southwest Iowa, and we focus on projects that relate to our local resources, like the Loess Hills.
How often do you think that these projects are going on that no one has any idea who's behind it?
Often. We're kind of like the hidden partner in a lot of cases.
Yeah. So because of that, though, is that kind of where Golden Hills likes to operate? Like, we're just going to stay in the background, make things happen, but you're not trying to shine a light on yourselves.
We would like to do that more, but historically, I would say, yeah, we haven't done a good job of that.
Haven't done a good job. So, well, it's a good thing you're here.
Yes, exactly.
We'll do what we can for this. And this new title, Director for Community Partnerships, what does that mean for you?
My position hasn't really changed. It's more of just a better title for what I was actually doing. So working with all kinds of partners, conservation partners, economic development partners, and starting new projects and programs.
These projects you're talking about, who's identifying the need? Is it you? Is it someone bringing this to you? How does that process work?
It's both. So the staff, the board, and then, outside partners, people, individuals in the area, like for the Low-High, as an example, Kelly Madigan. It's kind of her idea, and she reached out, and we decided to try it.
Yeah, well, you brought up Low-High, the Low-High Trek. The LO stands for Loess, the HI stands for Hills, and this is still something to me that is in the very early stages of what it can become. But what it is now is pretty cool. So let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, so the first trek was in 2021. I mentioned Kelly Madigan. It was kind of her idea to hike the Loess Hills, the whole length from South Dakota border to the Missouri border. She did that in 2020. There was, something going on.
Yeah, a little bit.
So she had a lot of time, and outside was the place to be. So she hiked that route, and I helped her along the way with some route suggestions.
Oh, you were already connected then at that
Yeah,
point.
I didn't know her well, but
Okay.
when I found out she was doing that, I reached out and said, hey, do you need help with a route? Because I had some ideas in mind.
Well, that, I think, too, had to have been the big, as far as the logistics of it, had to have been the biggest part.
Yep.
Because it's not as if there's one marked or blazed trail that runs from South Dakota to Missouri. That's not there.
Nope. And most of the Loess Hills is privately owned. There are public lands, and so the route that she hiked and that we use on our treks, we use public land wherever we can, but we have gotten special permission to go through some private lands before, and then the rest of it's just on-road walking because that's the only option.
Morning Coffee supported by Bryce Taylor and GLI Insurance Group, serving Council Bluffs, Tabor, and Clarinda. Springtime in Iowa, a good time to take 5 minutes and make sure your home, vehicles, and anything you're pulling out for warmer weather are properly covered. Bryce and the GLI team live and work right here in our communities and are always happy to help you head into spring with confidence. GLI Insurance Group, local service, all seasons. Morning Coffee is brought to you by Keith Jones, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Council Bluffs. Learn how he can help you reach your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com for more. Edward Jones, member SIPC. The permission, that is something you have to deal with every year when the Low-High Trek comes up, right? And
Yep.
you identify where it is you want to go, find out who owns the property, make the calls.
Yep.
It's lot of back work going into this.
It is, yeah. And so far, we've really lucked out. Most of the landowners, we either had some kind of connection informal with. So I think that helps, instead of just a random person emailing or calling and saying, hey, can we go through your property? So the Loess Hills conservation realm is very connected. And so we've been lucky to have partners who are able to help connect us with those landowners.
I'm also assuming that with the first conversation with the landowners, there's probably a lot of, all right, we want to make sure you're taking care of the property as you're coming through this, because they've been the stewards of it for a while.
Yep. Yeah, and the low high, a big part of it is all about education and conservation. So we tell everyone beforehand and during the event, we leave no trace when you're out there. Don't litter, that kind of stuff. We encourage just all kinds of land stewardship and picking up other people's trash. And
I was just thinking about that too. Yeah, let's leave it in better shape, because you're going to find stuff. I don't know of probably anywhere in the world that you can go that you're not going to find evidence of humans leaving part of themselves behind.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that we all wish was better.
Yeah.
But it's just that kind of thing. How much trash do you find, Kyle, when you were out there?
Well, it depends where we're at. I think the first one I did is the one that had the hungry hole, right? Or So it's common in this area, and I guess I'm guilty of it too. If you own like an acreage or you're on a farm, you have the pit.
Right.
The trash pit. Now, you don't necessarily throw like plastic and stuff in there, but we come across a lot of dumps where it's like there's a car and like an old washer, and it's just metal stuff rusting away. But there are some people that actually dump all sorts of more naughty things that you are not supposed to dump. And you come across that when you're out hiking, or we find bottles every once in a while. But most of the places that we go, I feel like, are pretty clean already.
I think for the most part, yeah. Sometimes when we're on a road, there's trash in the ditch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's always how the case is.
Yeah.
So don't drive around the city of Council Bluffs for a while, and we've got the cleanup day coming up here pretty soon that everybody's going to get out and pick up trash. But it's kind of just an ongoing thing. It doesn't matter how much education you put out there; it's always going to exist. So if we just accept that, then okay, let's just do our part and pick some of it up as we go along. And I think that works pretty well. How did this year's low high trek go? How did you feel it went?
I thought it went really well. It was a similar route. So this was the 6th trek that we've done. It was a similar route to the first one, but slightly different. And we had the first 2 days were about 11 miles. So they were the tougher ones. And then the last 2 days were shorter. But that was one feedback. Some feedback we got last year was that the days were too short. So we decided to give them a little longer days. And nobody.
That was my complaint.
And a couple other people, but
maybe back them off a little. I don't know.
It was 11. 11's a lot.
Well, normally, I mean, I started hiking in 2020 because COVID. What can you do? Go outside. That's about it.
Right.
I mean, I hiked 300 miles that year, and then the following year, I think I hiked around 600 miles. So the most miles I've ever done in one day is 36. I don't recommend it to people, and I have 7 days to go from this area to this area, and we had to hit our marks. So that's more intense thing, and we trained for that and all that good stuff.
That 36 miles, is that up and down, or is that flat?
It was not flat.
Oh boy!
So I will say that our 11 miles and 10 miles the next day, like especially the second day, it was a lot of hard up and down. So. That's what you get with the low high. It's you're in hills. I think a lot of people don't know it, but you can hike. There are several hikes here that are comparable to elevation gain and distance to things you find in Colorado, like popular hikes up to lakes and stuff. I think a lot of people think they can't hike here, but there's lots of places to go hike here and really get your legs in shape. And I think I had not hiked anything in the Sylvan Runkle area before, and the panoramic views it's something I haven't encountered in the hills before. Usually it's like you're on the cliffside and there's farm field, and then over on the other side maybe there's some houses or something, or just farmland. But I think this is the first time I encountered we're on a ridge at the top, and everywhere I look there's just a sea of golden grass, the blue stem native, and you're like, wow, this is really unique. And I almost can't, maybe over there I can see a shed or a house, but it's like really far away. It felt more remote.
Yeah, I
in
think
most areas we've gone before.
this year's route was more wilderness and more remote. The first day, that 11 miles, I think there was 2 houses we passed, and one of them was vacant. So
Yeah.
it was, very rural. That was up in Woodbury County through 2 county wildlife areas. But then, the Sylvan Runkle part and Loess Hills Wildlife Area, that's another big stretch of public land where those 2 days we were mostly on public land, which is pretty cool.
When you are on the private land, is it still common that the trails are there, or is this more like bushwhacking?
It varies a lot. So some of the private landowners do have their own trails, like especially mowed paths. But we had for Saturday's route was almost entirely private land, and there was a part of it that I had hiked with Cody from Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation. It was some property that they manage. We hiked it in January. It was very thick with cedars, so then they and a group of volunteers went and cleared a path for us. And so when we went that Saturday, it was a very clear cedar tunnel.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
And especially one of my favorite places in the entire country is out in Colorado where the Douglas fir have canopied over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're walking through something where and cedar, it's a aromatic tree.
Yeah.
So when you're walking through that, it can create a whole new experience for you.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds cool. That would have been something to see.
It smelled nice. We do talk about, though, how cedars are an issue in the Loess Hills. They encroach on prairies, and so that's long term. It's a concern. They take over, and then nothing grows underneath, so they can really do a lot of damage to the prairies.
Yeah, so that's the one of the other things that you guys are working towards and taking care of is making sure that what we have here is cared for, because the Loess Hills all through the region, very unique.
Mm-hmm.
And we drive it every day, and we're driving back and forth, and we're just not paying attention. There's just a highway in front of me. But when you stop, you get out, like what this low high trek does, and you're on your feet for a while, and you take in truly what this area is. It can change your perspective of everything.
Yeah, and one thing that's really cool is we've had people this year. I think we had Minnesota, Wisconsin, Colorado, Washington, New York, Nebraska, Iowa. So people from mountainous states are coming here and saying, this is incredible.
How is the low high trek getting bigger as far as people? I wouldn't, because I know that wasn't it about 50? Is it still there?
Yeah, but it sells out in like 3 days.
Yeah, and we limit it just because of our capacity to manage that many people. It's a lot of cat herding. So
people did get lost this year,
but it does sell out, and we had a waiting list of 30-some people. So
I think that as the years go by and you keep doing this event, it's going to become even more popular. It's going to sell out even faster. Yeah. It's just an annual event right now, correct?
It is. So the 4-day event is annual. We have done some shorter, smaller hikes.
Any thought at all about adding a second time during the year?
Potentially. It's definitely been brought up. We've talked about it.
Last year you did too.
Yeah, we did the Low High Scout, which was overnight trip.
Yeah. So
how are people finding out about this? I mean, you're talking about New York. You're talking about different parts of the country. How are they finding out about the Low High Trek?
I think mostly social media and then just personal connections. So a lot of those people from other states, either people that Kelly knows or that I know or other people who have done the trek invited.
Along with hearing from them, what is some of the other feedback that you got on this year's trek?
I just sent out the survey this morning, so I should.
Okay, you'll be getting that back
I
soon.
Did you hear much?
The food is always fantastic, and it was really good this year too. And people mentioned that like on the actual trail.
Yeah. We feed them very well.
Yeah. I think most companies would just cater in something really boring, but all the options you guys bring in are local. Mm-hmm. Usually mom and pop places, and I'm always surprised by the combinations of food. So
was that particular thing actually set out to be part of the experience, or was it just we're just going to call the closest people and see how it happens? Because sometimes the best experiences are a happy accident.
Yeah, I would say a little bit of both. We definitely try to get local. We support local businesses. In the since this year, since we've done the event so many times, we already had some connections with restaurants and stuff. But then we also just had neighbors who offered to help cook a dinner and provide lemon bars and that kind of stuff. So
those were fantastic.
Yeah.
Kyle, was this your fifth?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Why keep going back? I mean, I know the answer you're going to give me, but I want to hear you say it. It's still the Loess Hills. It's just, okay, you're in a different spot, so chances are it's going to be very similar. Why go back? Why keep going?
Well, I think for me it started as like a completion thing. Like, I got to do all of them because the Low-High is just a section of the whole. So I have one more to do before I get that. Oh, I've done all the sections. Cool. Like, I can go retire now and live in a cabin by the lake. But I think anyone from the Low-High will tell you that when you show up, the people that were there last year and the year before, it's like you have reunited with a friend that you've known your whole life. Even though I've only really interacted with a lot of these people on the Low-High. Well, some of the local ones I see more often, but it's just a really good community event, and you get to walk with people and share your story. And I mean, I don't know, I'd probably talk the whole way. So some people don't like that.
We have a silent stretch on the last day, so
yeah. But yeah, it's good to catch up with people that live here, and I find out about other projects people are doing, and oh, cool, there's like a cleanup day, or there's a seed harvesting, all these other cool events you can go do. Other organized hikes, like Seth is planning to do a backpacking route, which I'm really excited to do. So some people in the group are not excited about that because they don't want to carry their own gear, but I'd like that part of it. So it's good to come back and connect with the same people again. And then, I mean, I feel like everybody on the trip is so generous. Like, the people that came from Colorado, I mean, they're all like, come out and stay with us. Yeah. Anytime you call us. And I know other people in the group have gone out and stayed with. So it's, we're inviting people into our homes and our land, but we're also getting invitations back from people that visit us. And it's just, it's a really cool community. And I don't think I've really found something else like it, to be honest. So,
yeah. And one person called it adult summer camp. And it's like every year you come back and see these friends, and maybe you don't talk to them the rest of the year, but then you pick up the conversation right where you left off.
Yeah.
Good morning. Start with peace of mind. My Nurse Healthcare provides professional in-home support where it matters most, helping individuals maintain comfort, dignity, and independence in their daily lives. Their experienced nursing team focuses on personalized care, clear communication, and supporting families through every step of the process. It is healthcare built on trust, compassion, and real relationships. Learn more at mynursehealthcare.com. S&B Country Kennel is the top spot in Southwest Iowa when you need to know your dog will receive only the best. Boarding, daycare, grooming, self-washing, training, and even a membership available to a dog park over an acre in size. S&B Country Kennel also has rescue dogs, so check with them about adoption possibilities. sbcountrykennel.com, that's country spelled with a K, located just west of I-29 on Bungie Avenue, south of Council Bluffs. Do you know of other events similar to this in other parts of the country? To me, this is very unique, that something that is put together like this, where 50 people come and they're all hiking the same thing. They get to the end of the day. There is, I look at it as a debriefing, but it's really a chance for everyone to kind of talk about their experiences and see, because everybody's having a unique experience. This is, to me, something that can be very, very powerful to a person. So do you know of other events like
I'm not familiar with other events like this.
No, this is, and plus I know that it's a learning process every year. You're always looking ways to tweak it and can we make it better, and can we do this, can we do that? But I think that you should start seeing these things everywhere in the country. I really do, because it's so, you can see from the people that are on it, it's so powerful.
Yeah. On the last night, Saturday night, we always do a circle where everyone just shares their experience and reflections. And I mean, it's truly a life-changing event for a lot of people, and they're already like ready for the next one. They can't wait.
You know what I would like to see is we need another border-to-border through hike and using what we go through the Loess Hills. I mean, because you got the Appalachian Trail over on the east side, and that's really popular, but it's almost like getting on a highway anymore when you're out there. You got the Pacific Crest Trail, and is it the Continental Divide Trail? Is that the one that goes up through Colorado? So people completing those is kind of like the Triple Crown of through hikes. We need another one. And we need one that travels through the Midwest and goes farther south, into Missouri and Arkansas and straight south there. And this, I think, could be a really cool part of it if it could all be put together. Because as you said, there's a lot of private land involved.
That's the challenge. And like Brent's Trail is a good example of an idea that people had, made it happen, and it's super popular. And people come from all over the Midwest to hike that trail.
Well, that's the one. That's probably the hardest hike.
Yeah.
Within an 8-hour drive. Or 6-hour drive, because Black Hills probably get a good hike in. So,
are there? I was thinking about this earlier. I haven't seen any on any of the hikes that I've been out in the hills. Is there a place where it's actually developed enough where switchbacks are there to get you try to get you up the hill a little easier? Because a lot of them is just straight.
Yeah, there really aren't a whole lot. I think Hitchcock has been starting to do more of that in the last few years with some reroutes, but.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of them are just straight up and down.
And the straight up and down in Hitchcock is still there, too.
Yeah.
I was out there about a month ago.
Route or the hard route.
Oh, yeah. And the signs are, I don't know who was deciding what was easy and what was hard, because there's times that, this says easy. And I'm like, okay, I have to stop because my heart rate's at like 160 and I can't, I got to get things calmed back down a little bit. But that's just, the Hitchcock is like the place in the Loess Hills where everything comes together and you get the entire experience in just one microcosm of a place. But what you guys are talking about is more backcountry, and this is I think it's just going to get more and more well known, and it's either selling out in minutes or you're going to have to figure out a way of making it a little bigger or making it multiple events where people can sign up, and maybe you got 4 weekends or something like that.
Yeah,
I'd look forward to that, and I think I need to get out on one of these things. I haven't been out there yet.
You should come.
And it's a unique experience. I love being out in nature. For me, it's where my brain just kind of resets. And I talked about the Appalachian Trail. I've been on it. First time I was ever on it, I did that same 11 miles that you did. And by the time I got to the end of it, every step hurt in a way that I didn't know could. But when you complete something like that, the feelings of satisfaction, the feelings of accomplishment, everything that went into it is at times overwhelming. And you just kind of sit in it. And that's what you've created.
Yeah. Yeah. And in addition to the community that we built, I think there's just so much, so many people are like becoming friends and hanging out afterwards, but then also showing up for each other. Like, we've had some people that lost family members and things like that. And we put together like gift baskets and stuff, and volunteer days in the Loess Hills. We put it in the Facebook group, and low-high people show up.
I mean, when we had the tornado go through, we had three or four low-high people show up to help out at the family
Really?
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Including Lance. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, but I think it's there's a lot of discussion this year, I think, about how the Loess Hills is really bringing people together, and it's cool to be a part of that.
Yeah. I'm also wanting to know where you got that shirt, because that's freaking
So
cool.
these are
Those are
Golden
available.
Hills.
Yeah.
We work with Raygon, and you can buy these on our website.
Okay, I'm going. It's happening today. I'm getting one of those today.
Or at Raygon. Can you get it at Raygon?
Yep,
too?
we have
downtown.
Raygon site linked on our website. So.
Well, we should. We'll put the link in the description to this, where
will.
people can go.
Yep,
and
we have shirts, hats, mugs.
very cool.
stickers.
And then we could probably share this into the Low-High group, and make sure if you guys want to find out more about the Low-High trip, we can.
We don't have the next one scheduled yet. There's already people asking.
It's not out yet, but get in the group and you will be in the know. So,
All right. Well, thank you guys so much, Lance, Kyle, for coming in and talking about this. I know, Kyle, we did a show when you were in the middle of it, and that exhaustion level. You hadn't recovered.
I'm a little less tired now.
Yeah, you hadn't recovered yet, because your eyes were drooping, but still your willingness to step in there and do it. And Lance, everything that Golden Hills RC&D is doing to put this together and everything else you're doing with that organization, we want to thank you for that too, because we need it. And it's, as we said at the beginning, a lot of the stuff you're doing, nobody knows.
Yep.
Nobody knows that you're out there. They don't know that you're doing it, but we're going to see if we can't help spread the word a little bit about that.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
And we thank you very much for watching this episode of Council Bluffs today. Hit the like button, hit follow, hit share. Help us spread the word about the Low-High Trek, about Golden Hills RC&D, and everything else that we promote here on the show. We're all working together on that, and the best part about it, doesn't cost you a thing to click a button on your social media. My name's Todd Studer, and we'll see you back here next time.